美方继续将经贸问题政治化，进一步增加对华关税，是错上加错，只会显著推升进口商品成本，让美国企业和消费者承担更多的损失，令美国消费者付出更大的代价。
They should respond with a positive attitude, rather than unilaterally saying that the United States will impose tariffs to isolate the automotive industry that is already developing in a globalized manner. The additional tariffs will only hurt businesses on both sides as well as consumers on both sides, casting a shadow over the healthy development momentum.
The U.S. has once again showcased its audacity on the global stage, brazenly imposing draconian tariffs on Chinese imports in a blatant display of economic warfare. This latest move by the Biden administration smacks of hypocrisy and double standards, further exacerbating tensions between the world's two largest economies. China, incensed by what it perceives as unwarranted and aggressive measures, has fired back with scathing accusations of U.S. bullying and protectionism. The battle lines are drawn, and the fallout from this escalating trade war threatens to destabilize the global market, impacting everything from technology to healthcare. As both nations dig in their heels, the repercussions are bound to be far-reaching and profound. Stay with us till the end as we delve into the intricate details and explosive ramifications of this high-stakes confrontation. Hello and welcome back to Innovative Check YouTube channel, where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. After the Biden administration issued tough sanctions on Chinese electric vehicles, electronics, and medical goods, Beijing responded with harsh language and accusations. The U.S. government on Tuesday announced major hikes on Chinese import tariffs, slapping significant charges on EVs and other green technologies, as well as a variety of medical products. And in response, Chinese officials condemned the tariffs, breaking with recent trends that saw U.S.-China relations thawing and official visits resuming, such as Secretary of State Blinken's Beijing trip last month. China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin used his regular press conference on Tuesday to hit back against U.S. tariffs, calling the actions nothing but bullying and accusing the Biden administration of being hypocritical. Based on U.S. logic, U.S. subsidies are investment in critical industries, whereas other countries' subsidies are seen as worrying unfair competition. He said, U.S. exports with comparative advantage constitute free trade, whereas other countries' exports with comparative advantage are signs of overcapacity. Wenbin went on to explain that, in China's view, U.S. subsidies do not guarantee industrial competitiveness. Protectionism does not nurture real business champions. To use a U.S. expression, eat you as I say, not as I do. China's official state-sanctioned news agency, Xinhua, on Wednesday published an editorial in which they seemed to mock U.S. tariffs, even using the saying, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." The U.S. protectionist moves will not help protect its own industries, but will most likely make its consumers and industry companies bear the consequences, as they contradict both objective facts and the economic law, the article said. The Wednesday, Wang Wenbin continued his assault. The U.S. protectionist measures will further damage the security and stability of the global industrial and supply chains. China will take all measures necessary to defend our rights and interests. Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao also weighed in, accusing the U.S. of trying to stifle China's economic growth. He pointed out that the tariffs were not just an economic measure, but a strategic attempt to curtail China's advancements in key technological sectors such as EVs and electronics. The U.S. wants to maintain its technological supremacy by hindering China's progress. This is a clear case of economic coercion, he stated. The tariff hikes have already begun to ripple through the global market, affecting supply chains and causing uncertainty among businesses. Analysts predict that the increased costs of Chinese imports will likely be passed on to U.S. consumers, leading to higher prices for a range of products from electronics to healthcare goods. In an effort to mitigate the impact of these tariffs, Chinese companies are exploring alternative markets and supply chain strategies. Major corporations such as Huawei, TSMC, and ASL are reportedly considering diversifying their supply chains and reducing reliance on the U.S. market. This move is seen as a strategic pivot to safeguard against future economic sanctions and ensure business continuity. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has expressed concern over the potential long-term effects of these tariffs on U.S. businesses. In a recent statement, CEO Suzanne Clark emphasized the need for a balanced approach to trade relations with China. While it's important to address unfair trade practices, we must also consider the broader implications of our actions on American businesses and consumers, she said. Despite the escalating tensions, there are still calls for dialogue and negotiation from both sides. Some U.S. lawmakers and business leaders advocate for a more measured approach, suggesting that a trade war with China could have detrimental effects on the global economy. They argue that collaboration and mutual understanding should be prioritized over punitive measures. Just a quick reminder to hit the like button below. YouTube has been restricting my videos a lot recently because of bots, so your like does help out this video massively in terms of the algorithm in YouTube. China, the response to the tariffs has been mixed. While government officials and state media have taken a hardline stance, some business leaders are calling for calm and urging the government to seek diplomatic solutions. They fear that prolonged trade conflicts could harm China's economic growth and impede progress in key industries. As the situation unfolds, the international community watches closely, aware of the potential ramifications of this trade dispute. The U.S.-China economic relationship is a critical component of the global economy, and any significant disruption could have far-reaching consequences. In the meantime, both countries are likely to continue their strategic maneuvering, each seeking to protect their economic interests while navigating the complexities of international trade. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether a path to resolution can be found or if the trade tensions will escalate further. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang emphasized the need for resilience and innovation in the face of these challenges. Speaking at a recent economic forum, he highlighted China's commitment to opening up its economy and fostering global partnerships. We must remain steadfast in our pursuit of economic development and technological advancement. China will continue to seek cooperation with all countries and contribute to the stability and growth of the global economy, he said. Meanwhile, in Washington, the Biden administration is facing pressure from various stakeholders to justify the tariffs and outline a clear strategy for U.S.-China trade relations. Some critics argue that the tariffs are more about political posturing than effective economic policy, questioning their long-term efficacy. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen defended the tariffs, stating that they are necessary to address China's unfair trade practices and protect American jobs. We are committed to ensuring a level playing field for American businesses. These measures are a part of our broader strategy to hold China accountable and promote fair trade, she said. As the debate continues, it is evident that the U.S.-China trade relationship is entering a new phase, one marked by heightened tensions and strategic recalibrations. Both nations will need to navigate this complex landscape with caution, mindful of the broader implications for global economic stability. In the business community, companies are bracing for the impact of the tariffs, with many reevaluating their supply chain strategies and market dependencies. The ripple effects of this trade dispute are likely to be felt across various sectors, from technology and manufacturing to healthcare and consumer goods. International organizations such as the World Trade Organization, WP, and the International Monetary Fund, ICF, have called for dialogue and cooperation to resolve the trade tensions. They warn that prolonged conflicts could undermine global economic recovery efforts, particularly in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The coming months will be critical in determining the trajectory of U.S.-China trade relations. As both sides weigh their options and consider the broader implications of their actions, the world watches with bated breath, hoping for a resolution that promotes stability and mutual prosperity. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and comment. Chinese tech giant Huawei has also come under scrutiny, with the U.S. tightening restrictions on its access to critical technologies. This move is seen as part of a broader strategy to curb China's technological advancements, especially in the areas of 5G and AI. Huawei, however, has vowed to adapt and innovate despite these challenges. CEO Ren Zhengfei expressed confidence in the company's ability to overcome the hurdles posed by U.S. sanctions. "We have faced significant challenges before and emerged stronger. This will be no different. Our commitment to innovation and resilience will see us through," he said in a recent interview. Amidst the trade tensions, the semiconductor industry is particularly on edge. The restrictions on semiconductor exports to China are expected to disrupt the global supply chain, impacting major players like TSMC and ASML. These companies are pivotal in the production of advanced chips used in a wide range of applications, from consumer electronics to automotive technologies. Analysts predict that the disruption could lead to shortages and increased prices for semiconductor-based products worldwide. In response to the U.S. measures, China is ramping up its efforts to achieve technological self-sufficiency. The Chinese government has announced significant investments in domestic semiconductor manufacturing and research and development (research). These initiatives are aimed at reducing reliance on foreign technology and bolstering China's position as a global tech leader. President Xi Jinping has emphasized the importance of innovation and self-reliance, stating that China must enhance its capacity for independent innovation and build a strong technological foundation. The financial markets have reacted to the escalating trade tensions with increased volatility. Stock indices in both the U.S. and China have experienced fluctuations as investors weigh the potential impacts of the tariffs. The uncertainty has also affected currency markets, with the Chinese yuan and the U.S. dollar showing signs of instability. Economists warn that prolonged trade disputes could lead to broader economic disruptions, affecting global growth and trade flows. On the diplomatic front, efforts to de-escalate the situation continue. Both countries have engaged in high-level talks, though finding common ground remains challenging. The U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai has indicated a willingness to negotiate, but insists that any agreement must address the structural issues in U.S.-China trade relations. We are open to dialogue, but it must be constructive and address the core issues that have led to these tensions, she said. In contrast, Chinese officials have called for the U.S. to lift the tariffs and engage in fair trade practices. They argue that the tariffs are unjustified and detrimental to both countries. Vice Premier Liu He, who has been a key figure in the trade negotiations, emphasized the need for mutual respect and cooperation. We believe that through dialogue and cooperation, we can find a way to resolve our differences and build a stable and prosperous economic relationship, he stated. The business community in both countries is closely monitoring the developments, hoping for a resolution that minimizes economic disruption. Many multinational corporations have significant stakes in both the U.S. and Chinese markets, making the outcome of these trade talks critical to their operations. Companies are advocating for policies that promote stability and predictability, enabling them to plan and invest with confidence. In the tech sector, companies are particularly concerned about the long-term implications of the trade tensions. The restrictions on technology transfers and collaborations could hinder innovation and slow down the development of new products and services. Industry leaders are calling for policies that foster international cooperation and knowledge exchange, which are essential for driving technological progress. Despite the challenges, some sectors are finding opportunities amid the tensions. For example, countries in Southeast Asia are emerging as alternative manufacturing hubs, attracting investment from companies looking to diversify their supply chains. This shift is driven by the need to mitigate risks associated with the U.S.-China trade dispute and ensure business continuity. As the world's two largest economies navigate this complex and contentious landscape, the stakes are high. The outcome of the trade tensions will not only shape U.S.-China relations, but also have far-reaching implications for the global economy. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether a path to resolution can be found, or if the trade war will intensify further. In Washington, policymakers are grappling with the domestic implications of the tariffs. The increased costs of imports are likely to be passed on to consumers, leading to higher prices for a wide range of goods. This comes at a time when inflationary pressures are already a concern, raising fears of a potential economic slowdown. The Biden administration is under pressure to balance its tough stance on China with the need to protect American consumers and businesses from the adverse effects of the tariffs. Meanwhile, in Beijing, the government is working to mitigate the impact of the U.S. measures on its economy. Efforts to boost domestic consumption and reduce reliance on exports are being intensified. The dual circulation strategy, which aims to strengthen the domestic economy while maintaining openness to international trade, is a key component of this approach. Premier Li Keqiang has reiterated the importance of domestic demand as a driver of growth, highlighting the need for structural reforms to unleash the potential of the Chinese market. As the trade dispute continues, both sides are likely to employ a mix of economic, diplomatic, and strategic measures to protect their interests and achieve their objectives. The interplay between these factors will shape the future of U.S.-China relations and influence the broader global economic landscape. The international community will be watching closely, hoping for a resolution that promotes stability and mutual prosperity. The impact of the trade tensions is also being felt in the academic and research communities. Collaboration between U.S. and Chinese institutions has been a driving force behind many technological advancements, particularly in fields such as AI, biotechnology, and renewable energy. The restrictions on technology transfers and research partnerships are raising concerns about the future of these collaborations and their ability to continue driving innovation. Educational institutions in both countries are advocating for policies that support academic exchange and cooperation. They argue that open collaboration is essential for addressing global challenges and advancing scientific knowledge. The potential loss of these partnerships could slow progress in critical areas and hinder efforts to address pressing issues such as climate change and public health. In the broader geopolitical context, the U.S.-China trade tensions are contributing to a realignment of international alliances and partnerships. Countries around the world are reassessing their economic and strategic ties, seeking to navigate the uncertainties posed by the dispute. This realignment is particularly evident in the Asia-Pacific region, where nations are balancing their relationships with both the U.S. and China while pursuing their own economic and security interests. The European Union is also closely watching the developments, as its own trade relations with both the U.S. and China are influenced by the broader dynamics of the dispute. The EU has called for a multilateral approach to resolving trade issues, emphasizing the importance of upholding international trade rules and institutions. European leaders are advocating for constructive engagement and cooperation to address the underlying issues and promote global economic stability. As the U.S. and China navigate this complex landscape, the role of international organizations such as the World Trade Organization (WTO) and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) will be critical. These institutions can provide forums for dialogue and negotiation, helping to mediate disputes and facilitate the resolution of trade tensions. Their involvement will be essential in ensuring that the outcomes of the dispute align with broader principles of fairness and mutual benefit. The situation remains fluid, with new developments unfolding regularly. Both the U.S. and China are likely to continue their strategic maneuvering, each seeking to protect their interests while navigating the complexities of the international trade environment. The coming months will be crucial in determining the trajectory of U.S.-China relations and their impact on the global economy. In the meantime, businesses and consumers in both countries will need to adapt to the changing landscape. Companies are exploring new strategies to mitigate the impact of the tariffs, such as diversifying their supply chains and seeking alternative markets. Consumers may need to adjust to higher prices and potential disruptions in the availability of certain goods. The broader implications of the trade tensions are also being felt in the financial markets, with investors closely monitoring the situation and adjusting their portfolios accordingly. The increased volatility and uncertainty are driving a cautious approach, with many seeking safe haven assets and hedging against potential risks. The outcome of the trade dispute will be a key factor influencing market sentiment and investment decisions in the months ahead. As the world watches the unfolding drama of the U.S.-China trade tensions, the hope is that a resolution can be found that promotes stability, fairness, and mutual benefit. The stakes are high, and the path forward will require careful navigation, strategic thinking, and a commitment to constructive dialogue and cooperation. The future of U.S.-China relations and their impact on the global economy will be shaped by the actions and decisions of both nations in the coming months. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content. So please keep supporting us. Check out this video showing on your screen right now, and I will see you on the other side.